Alright. Let's see. Play on people's fantasies. The most detested person in the world is the one who always tells the truth, who never romances. I found it far more interesting and profitable to romance than to tell the truth. It's a quote by Joseph Weil, aka the Yellow Kid. The Yellow Kid was a con artist. The truth is often avoided because it is ugly and unpleasant. Never appeal to truth and reality unless you are preparing for the anger that comes from disenchantment. To gain power, you must be a source of pleasure for those around you, and pleasure comes from playing to people's fantasies. Never promise a gradual improvement through hard work. Rather, promise the moon, the great and sudden transformation, the pot of gold. Daily law, life is so harsh and distressing that people who can manufacture romance or conjure up fantasy are like oases in the desert. Everyone flocks to them. There is great power in tapping into the fantasies of the masses. That's from the 48 Laws of Power, law number 32, play to people's fantasies. That was yesterday's. Here's today's. Renew your aura of authority. Your authority will grow with each action that inspires trust and respect. It gives you the luxury to remain in power long enough to realize great projects. But as you get older, the authority you established can become rigid and stodgy. You become the father figure who starts to seem oppressive by how long he has monopolized power, no matter how deeply the people had admired him in the past. A new generation inevitably emerges that is immune to your charm, to the aura you have created. They see you as a relic. You also have the tendency as you get older to become ever so slightly intolerant and tyrannical, as you cannot help but expect people to follow you. Without being aware, you start to feel entitled. The people sense this. Besides, the public wants newness and fresh faces. The first step in avoiding this danger is to maintain a kind of sensitivity, noting the moods behind people's words, gauging the effect you have on newcomers and young people. Losing that empathy should be your greatest fear, as you will begin to cocoon yourself in your great reputation. The second step is to look for new markets and audiences to appeal to, which will force you to adapt. If possible, expand the reach of your authority without making a fool of yourself by attempting to appeal to a younger crowd you cannot easily understand. You try to alter your style somewhat with the passing years. In the arts, this has been the secret success of people like Pablo Picasso or Alfred Hitchcock or Coco Chanel. Daily law, flexibility and adaptability give you a touch of the divine and immortal. Your spirit remains alive and open, and your authority is renewed. That's from the Laws of Human Nature, number 15. Make them want to follow you. The law of fickleness. It's a good one. All right. That gave my car time to warm up. Let's have some caffeine. All right. Where are my glasses? Okay. Let's hit the road. Make people want to follow you. I don't know. I'm not into all that. I'm not here to garner a following. I'm here to observe and report. All right. Let's see. Anybody? Nobody. Let's go. Yeah, so I noticed there's some new people in my building. There's a lot of new people, actually. Most of them seem to be, I don't know, how would I say this? People I don't prefer. They just seem to be, I don't know, for lack of a better term, ghetto. Ah, why are we letting these people in here? Well, there's not much you could do about that, I guess. That a bit. And what was the other one? Like, something about renew your aura of authority and play to people's fantasies. The fantasy, the picture that you have of people in your head before the reality hits is much more attractive. That's what they say. It's like that era, that the aura of unknowing, like the mysterious. Tends to make people more like more enticed, like intrigued. Yeah, I'm terrible at playing any of these games. I just walk around talking too much and telling too much about myself and giving my opinion too much, and I don't know. I'm not built for these games. I don't have that kind of mind. And to be honest, wouldn't want anybody playing all these games with me. No, I would cut you out real quick. I don't have the energy for that. More caffeine. Well, today's doggy day, so hopefully, let's see. Hopefully, it's nice and calm. That would be nice. Nice calm day. Yeah, I can't get into all of these. Like, I mean, I like reading this book, like this Daily Laws, but I can't get into using this stuff because it's just not in my character to do so. But I find it fascinating that there's people that do all this shit, like that are constantly like in that mindset of like playing angles, and it's basically like the mind of a con artist, really. Like that yellow kid, Joseph Weil, that quote was from on one of those. He was like the most notorious con artist in history. And if you read like Robert Greene's like Art of Seduction, the ability to seduce is like the main tool of the con artist. And that yellow kid guy, Joseph Weil, he uses him as an example throughout that whole book, like a lot. And that's just not my character type. Like, even now in these videos, I shouldn't be saying that. I should be telling people that I can't do that. I don't know. I'm just not built for that game. And it seems like that's the only real way to like get ahead. Like on the monetary level, on the material level, is to have that kind of personality. And that would probably explain why I have a difficult time. It's alright. We'll see if it's worth it when this is all over. Can't take your toys with you, but you do take who you were with you. So for some reason, I think I'm doing it right. Even though I'll probably suffer for it here. I think there's something to it after. That's my gut feeling. It's like they say, well, especially because I was listening to Joe Rogan, they were talking about Ibogaine and how that gives you like a whole life review, like all the things that you've done and said. And not only do you re-experience your life, you re-experience your life through the perspective of how you affected other people. Like from their perspective, you experience it somehow. I don't know. So you get to feel how you made other people feel. And the effect that you had on other people, you get to experience that. That's what they say. And I've heard that there's some, people who've had like, what is the phrase? Who've had like near-death experiences, or like who have died and have been like resuscitated. They've had stories of like a life review of some sort. So that comes up a lot. So the ability to like to prey on people's weaknesses and like take advantage of like all these things, all these skills or attributes that I read. If you're that type of person, and let's say for the sake of argument, there is a God, which I do believe in, and there is some sort of life review, I don't think that's a good thing, that to use all these things. I read these books because it's important to know that that's being done out there. Even though I forget it. I'm too trusting. I trust too many people. That's why I pretty much cut most everybody out of my life, except my woman. But I just don't. Now I can't trust anybody. I mean, I know I'm too trusting, so if I let you in, I'm just gonna trust you, and that's only backfired on me. So I just don't let anybody in. That's just how it has to be. Oh no. I had a bunch of dreams last night again. It's just almost annoying at this point. Wish I could just turn it off. Or at least wake up feeling like I actually slept instead of waking up feeling like I've been awake all night in my head. It's prettier in this area right here in the springtime. All the hills, they're not really mountains. All the hills are normally nice and green, but this time of the year they're all brown because of the lack of moisture. But it's real pretty out this way. It's spring. That's only because I can see it right now. Normally, when the time is flipped the other way, when the time changes, it's normally dark when I'm coming. So I can't see it on the way. I can only see them on the way home. But I can see it now. All right, a couple more exits and I'm there. I wouldn't mind living out this way. It's nice out this way. Liberty Canyon. I wouldn't mind living off of Liberty Canyon. Just gotta like the name of the streets. I've worked off of all of these streets. There's always construction going on around here. Somebody improving something on their property or excavating something for to build a home. Like right here off the side. This is that retarded wildlife crossing they built. It's been half finished for fucking decades now. Alright. My exit is coming up. Still half awake, I can feel it. Oh, somebody lost their hat. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Oh, that's funny. I guess there's some sort of performance going on. A bunch of like old school singers, musicians. Lisa and John B. Still trying to pull in a paycheck. They have to. Most of those people didn't invest well. Like my buddy's dad did it perfect. Like his band is Rolls Royce. You know, the Wishing on the Star and Car Wash and I Want to Get Next to You people. But they've lived in North Hills forever. And they just, you know, everything they have is real nice, but it's nice and they did it right. And his band is still super popular. I always had that in the back of my mind. Like that's the way to be. That's why when this girl left at work, her last day was last Friday, and she was saying goodbye to everybody. And she had told me about her raise. I had already talked about this, but I'll say it again. And I told her, you only got half your raise. Remember that? She's like, okay. Like, save the rest of that for years. Don't let up. You just keep doing that. Just reward yourself with half of what you think you got, or half of what you know you got as a raise, or an increase, whatever you want to call it. $6 is a substantial amount. And she's young, and I was like, man, she's gonna blow straight through that and not do this right. And when I first told her, she kind of looked at me confused. I was like don't act like you got all that money. Like it's gonna be real easy to just want to spend all of it. Like just keep saying to yourself, you only got half of that. That's what you have, and the rest of it goes straight into a savings account or an investment account. I do that for years. I told her, how long have you been at this job? She was like, I think 6, like going on 7 years. I'm like, okay, so do that for the next 6 or 7 years at this place. I said, let's just say on average, you're going to probably be there around the same amount of time. So I said, just do that for that amount of time. Then at the end of that, you know, you want to do a little something for yourself, go ahead and do it. But I would just stack all that cash away and ignore it. Let it grow. She's like, okay. You probably won't do it. But at least you can't say no one told me. Someone did. I didn't have anybody giving me advice. Darn shame where would I come from. Alrighty. I am here. What the fuck? What's all this trash? I swear, people are pigs. There's a trash can right there. You gotta throw all this away. That's crazy. Alright. I've arrived. Everybody have a great day.